Good morning, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cultural Coast. I'm Jennifer Johnston, President of your Board of Trustees. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to everyone online. Today's topic is Soaring in Love. We are thrilled to have Sandra Filer with us, and I met Sandra at our Shine event last spring. She is a best-selling author, retreat creator, and leader, and spiritual coach. We're excited to have Sandra with us for the first time. And bringing us musical inspiration this morning are the incomparable Jamie Tremps and Jack Berry. Reverend Teresa, our minister and founder, will be back with us next week. She has been on sabbatical, and continue your wonderful healing prayers for our music director, Bobby Fieberts, as he recovers from surgery. And as we get ready for this morning's time together, I invite you to center yourself in this moment, breathing out all that has come before this and all that will be in the future. Let's be here together now. And with that, I will invite Jamie and Jack up to inspire us.
Hi, how are you? It's nice to see you all. So, have any of you heard of Wanda Jackson? That's the first song I want to do, and it's a lot for my voice at 11 a.m., so it will be fun. Get you someday. get you someday. Here I go, going down, down, down. My mind is in flame. My whole head is reeling. As I go deep into the funnel of love. Deep into the funnel of love. Ooh, deep into the funnel of love. Ooh, deep into the funnel of love. Thank you.
Good morning. Namaste to all. So, I've got a little bit of a different thing that I'm doing this morning. Teresa said I could. So last week, some of you may know or not know, I went to our CSL SOAR Summer Spiritual Retreat 2025. It was in Banff, Alberta, Canada. So there were two of us, Jerry Bateman. Jerry's not here. She's in Boston. And I went too. So I'm going to read a little something that Jerry put together just to kind of give you, and can you guys hear me over there? Just to give you an idea of what went on. And then I'll read what I wrote. So this is from Jerry Bateman. Good morning, Cultural Coast. I'm not in town right now, but I couldn't miss this opportunity to tell you how proud I was at SOAR 2025 to be from CSL Cultural Coast and to introduce myself as being a member of this beloved community. When the presenter announced, some of you may not know this yet, when the presenter announced that CSL Cultural Coast, that's us, was voted the Community of the Year, I knew this was going to get emotional. I'm going to read that again, because that felt good. When the presenter announced that CSL Cultural Coast was voted the Community of the Year, it was over the top for Hector and me. Reverend Teresa and Bobby had a dream, and like the lotus flower, it revealed itself petal by petal, until on August 9th, 2025, it was in full bloom to be celebrated by all. And my thoughts were of all of you who have given of yourselves in the darkest hours following Milton and Helene, as well as in the joy of building a community of love. This award recognizes each of us and all of us together. This was a retreat, not a conference. They kept saying that because we kept calling it conference. No, it's a retreat. Okay. And there were 4 aspects of the experience that I would like to take a minute to share. First, the venue. What a backdrop for a retreat. The Canadian Rockies. Let me tell you, oh my, they were majestic. Every morning I'd get up and go to breakfast, and they were like there greeting me, just gorgeous. The Canadian Rockies are like no other mountains I have ever seen, rising into the clouds with power, ruggedness, and majesty, announcing the universe to all. This is really good, Jerry. Second, the content. The theme was revelation, restoration, and grace, and it was developed using Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. On day one, like the hero, we were called to an adventure to step on the path of personal and spiritual growth. It was ours to say yes and step over the threshold from the ordinary to the extraordinary with willingness and commitment. The speakers told the stories of their own hero's journey, each detailing the ordeals, challenges, and the obstacles that they faced and overcame. Their stories invited personal reflection and discovery of the hidden aspects and insights waiting on the other side of our own dark nights. And as in Joseph Campbell's monolith, the hero returns transformed with a gift or a lesson. For me, that gift was a new appreciation for this teaching that has transformed my life. Third, the music. Oh, man. I tell you what. Amy Bishop, remember that name. You guys know her? Some of you do. She and the Calgary House Band were nothing short of awesome. So we would listen to a piece of music and go, that is really good. And she would up it a notch. And that's how it went, kept going and going. Anyway, awesome, awesome. The CSL Calgary House Band, headlined by Amy Bishop, was nothing short of fantastic. The music was at once meaningful and poignant, and then joyous and resounding. Lots of energy and lots of dancing. I danced. Finally, and perhaps most important, the experience of being with 250 people who are committed to the teaching of science of mind and who live it out in their lives. It was truly a living, breathing expression of the divine and a feeling of oneness like no other. It gave me hope that in a challenging and chaotic world, the power of the collective can make a difference. We can do it one person at a time, one community at a time, one interconnected reality called Centers for Spiritual Living. I am grateful that I was able to have this experience and to bring that hope back to CSLCC. Look forward to being back with you next month. That was from Jerry Bateman. And Jerry's in Boston now. That's her summer home. Okay, you ready for me? There's some stuff that Jerry covered here, but this is me. So the retreat was attended by Jerry Bateman and myself. Thursday, we had 2 sessions, and in between, we had some downtime. So we were able to look around and go into town and stuff. At least 2 sessions per day, 3 on Saturday. Many workshops. They were awesome. We spoke about the dark night of the soul. So grace will meet us where we are, but won't leave us where we were. Brave the dark night, but the dark retreats in your holy presence. Soak it up. Until it merges with your holiness. You are not who you were. Love and goodness beacons you. Feeling it? The mountains were breathtaking, overwhelming, majestic, inviting. And I tell you, I'd get up in the morning and there they were, and it's like, no words. Just, this is Banff. I don't know if I mentioned that. Sessions were incredible, a lot of information to take in, wonderful speakers, intelligent, witty, informative, and of course, spiritual. The music was incredible. Like I said, just when you thought it couldn't get better, it got better. Saturday, the awards were given. It took a long time because they went through Minister of the Year and Practitioner of the Year and different individual awards. I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm like, come on. So finally they get to the end. Finally they got to the Center of the Year. Out of over 400 centers for spiritual living in the world, and maybe a few beyond we don't know about. And then they said, okay, I want a little bit of emotion here, all right? No polite clapping allowed. Yes. CSL Cultural Coast, the number one, we are number one. I tell you what, when they announced it, I was sitting in the front row. Totally spontaneous. I jumped. I jumped up. Honestly, I didn't know if I could still jump that high, but I did. And I started yelling, yes, yes, yes. And I was on one side of the room, like over here, and everybody's like, who's that guy? So Jerry and I were given the award. So I just wanted to congratulate you wonderful people. Because of you, you made that possible. It's your award. Last but certainly not least, this award would not have been made possible if not for Diana Wyatt. Diana, please. Diana filled out a form, am I correct? Nominating us for the award. Okay. Did you? Okay, then you did it. Oh, you filled it. Okay. Yeah. But without that, yeah. 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 Good. Good. So Diana filled out the form, submitting it and applying for the award. And the universe said, you know what, Diana? Yes. Thank you.
Men sing countdown, engines on. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. Really made the grade. And the papers want to know whose shirts you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. Stepping through the door. And I'm floating in a most peculiar way. Ground control, Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong, can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I alone in my tin can? Far above the world, planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Though I've passed 100,000 miles, I'm feeling very still. And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows. Ground control to Major Tom, your circuit's dead. There's something wrong, can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear me, Major Tom? Can you hear? Am I sitting in my tin can? Far above the world, planet Earth is blue, and there's nothing I can do. Thank you.
I want the world to know. Did show. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I am so excited to be here. I am Sandra Filer, and I'm also known as the Happy Goddess. And most recently, Queen Glitter Sparkles. Yes. If you don't know who she is, here she is up here on display, Miss Queen Glitter Sparkles. And I'm really honored to be invited to speak because I did learn from Mr. Ron Frost that that's a part of my human design. So when I got asked by Teresa, there was that little bit of, I've been asked to speak. And then when Ron revealed that I answer an invitation, I was like, yes. So here I am. So I want to begin with, I was recently vacationing in Iowa, and I was about to enter a mall when a mother actually stopped me. And she was very emphatic, and she stopped me and she said, oh my gosh, could you please come over here? My little girl wants to say hello to you because she thinks you look just like Queen Glitter Sparkles from the Trolls movie. And I went, wait, what? There's a Queen Glitter Sparkles? I had no idea. And so actually, I was in my glory. I was in my absolute glory. And I went, over to the car and I peeked inside and I smiled at her. And then once this all happened, I was walking into the mall and I was so excited. And then of course I had to look. I had to look up who is Queen Glitter Sparkles. And I must admit, my shoes do look a lot like hers. So this morning, as I stand here today, I truly am soaring in love. And it's an honor to be a part of this award-winning center. And most importantly, community. A community that, as was just shared, has been recognized for their humanitarian efforts that were demonstrated during the unprecedented time of 2 hurricanes hitting our shorelines. Last week, I wasn't able to be here physically. I ended up with COVID. Oh, one of those, floor moments when all of a sudden life stops you in your tracks and you've got to slow down and turn inward, right? And that's exactly what we did. And we tuned in to YouTube and we connected to this 11 o'clock service. And we leaned in, and we absolutely were able to soar in love from our chairs in our living room because of all the heartfelt offers that were provided of those who sang and spoke and read and really gave it their all. And so here I am this week, springboarding off of all of that, all of these amazing things that have happened. Ernest Holmes is quoted as saying in Living the Science of Mind that we must meet life where it's at, right? And so that's where I'm going to begin this morning, is that we're going to meet life right where it's at. Because what I've learned is that when we allow ourselves to be in our truth, to feel our feelings fully, and to be witnessed, not fixed, not counseled, that's when, as Bob and Shannon sing, the light gets in. And so up here on the altar is a vase, and it's filled with flowers. And on it is a message that says, beautiful girl, you can do hard things. This affirmation, this affirmative statement, this quote, has really been a steady companion for me. It's been a reminder of resilience and grace. In a world where empathy is being politicized and chaos is trying to tear us apart, meeting life where it's at is a radical act of self-love. Last month, we made the very painful decision to euthanize our beloved elder cat. He was 19.3, because I measured, years old, and his name was Listado Gatto. Wonderful name for a wonderful cat. How many of you have had a pet? Right? And how many of you have faced that heartbreaking decision? Right? Many of us. And it's in those moments, those tender, raw, human moments, that we truly meet life. We meet love, and we meet ourselves, and we meet each other. And how many of you have had the opportunity to sit with someone and truly share the depth of your loss without being offered a solution? When I vulnerably shared my grief about Lestado Gatto passing, I experienced a wide range of reactions and responses, of course, and all were extremely well-intended. But you know, grief is weird. And people can be really awkward about grief, too. So some of the things I heard from very well-intended people were, you know, Lestado is in a better place. Yes. He lived a long and wonderful life. Yes, not long enough. Let's just remember the good times. There were a lot of good times. There were. And these words do come from love, but to a grieving heart, sometimes they can feel like a gentle dismissal, right? A closing of the door on the fullness of life's experience. I don't want to just remember the good times with Lestado. I want to remember the full spectrum of his incredible life. Just like back in June when we were talking the full spectrum of our expression and all the colors and how nature shows us so many things, that's what I want to remember. Every moment, from the very first purr to when he took his final breath and when he tucked his little head under my arm. I want to remember that. And as Louise Hay reminded us, it's the richness and the fullness of our life experiences that shape us. As children, we're shaped. As adults, we have the opportunity to reshape, right? Now, one of the most healing gifts that I received during this time and leading up to that appointment with Lapse of Love was a one-on-one session with an IFS practitioner and dear friend of mine, Michelle. She didn't try to fix me. She held space. She witnessed, and in that sacred pause, I met my grief with grace. Now, as I prepared to enter onto that Zoom call with Michelle, I could feel the flood of emotions coming, right? Whew, I could feel the fear coming. I could hear the questions and that voice in my head that was telling me all the things I wasn't doing right, what I hadn't considered. It was all just building and building, and my body just kept growing heavier and heavy from all the thoughts. And then when I flipped on that monitor, I saw Michelle's face, and I felt her energy. And that's all it took. My lip began to quiver, and my eyes filled with tears, and the grief and the sorrow and the aching anticipation of the goodbye. Not just the goodbye, right? I made the decision. I scheduled the appointment to order the service that would end his physical life. Beautiful girl, you can do hard things. This was one of those floor moments that I'm talking about. We need floor moments. Floor moments are a little like those dark nights of the soul, right? Again, Michelle didn't try to fix me. She simply sat, allowed me to cry. She gave me permission to say, feel, express, do whatever I needed. That, my beloved friends, is love in action. That is actually love soaring. Because in that time, my heart was seen, understood, held, and something shifts inside of us when we allow ourselves to break open to vulnerability. This is what it means when I'm talking about meeting life where it is, not affirming it away, not wishing it were different, although I did a lot of that, but honoring what is. Because sometimes the greatest gifts and blessings come through the breakdown, or what's very often actually the breakthrough. We must lean in and we must listen, not sit back with an answer, because love is truly in the listening. Now, I have a hurricane story too that I want to share, because it's also a soaring in love moment and relevant. September 26th, as you'll all for here remember, was the infamous day Hurricane Helene hit. And it was also the day of a long-awaited retreat that I was offering. The magic was returning. This was after I retired from a very key role. So it was a really big deal. But the hurricane swept it all away, all of it. The retreat was canceled. The buildings were damaged. My vacation that was to follow didn't happen. And my dear friend Alice's property that has been tended to for 3 generations was flooded for the first time in history. Now, Alice is a cancer survivor. She went through cancer during the pandemic. And she lives in Tampa. So she was managing this tragedy far away from Anna Maria Island, driving back and forth, driving back and forth. Finally, when non-owners were allowed to go back to the property, she called me. She needed help. She needed boxes. Now, how many of you in this room have ever had a friend that you've been wanting to help for a really long time that finally called you for help, and you were so excited to be asked, right? Because we all want to help. That's part of being in a community. At first, what happened? I feared I wouldn't be able to find boxes. I wasn't going to be able to deliver, but I did. And one condition that she asked of me before I would come and help was that I couldn't cry. Okay? No crying. So I said, I won't cry. I won't cry. Understandable, yet again, right? Bob and Shannon singing, the crack is where the light gets in. I also want to mention that during this time, my husband, Kim here in the audience, he wasn't home. He was in Iowa. So I was alone for this hurricane. Now, it wasn't my first. I've been through many. And in the days between Helene and Milton, those unbelievable days when we knew there was another major hurricane coming, myself, Alice, and another 60-year-old woman were in that building, on that property, in the heat, humidity, and heartbreak to clear 5 units and 50 years of family memories. It was emotional. And what happened? We cried. We cried. We let it out. We shared turkey sandwiches. And our love soared. By deepening into what was before us and feeling all of it, our relationship grew exponentially. Now, meanwhile, I have to share, because many of you may have experienced this as well, well-meaning friends and family members were urging me to evacuate, right? How many of you received those messages, right? I became completely overwhelmed. My system became completely overwhelmed. I felt like I was going to have a nervous breakdown. No matter how many affirmations I recited, no matter how much meditation I did, no matter how much visualization of the water not rising or the storm not coming, no matter how many shields I put around me, the storm came. Folks, it came. And so what I did is I took my very vulnerable self over to my neighbor's house. And sat on their couch, and the words out of my mouth said, "I'm gonna cry." And what did they say? Go ahead and let it all out. They sat, they listened, they were present, they loved, and they invited me and my cats to stay with them through the storm. Now, how many of you have had the experience of huddling in a corner, scared out of your mind, fearing your life with a neighbor? Okay? I also learned that their bathroom may or may not be soundproofed. Okay, you know I didn't want to go to the bathroom in that toilet. Okay, I want to share one other thing, and that is, while we were on vacation in Iowa, we met with a family member, and she too had just experienced something that was very difficult for her, and that was she received a phone call regarding her high school friend that was in hospice care. And she was told that it was time to come and say goodbye to her friend. And Marilyn started out this conversation by looking at all of us and said, please don't do that to me. Understandable, right? She didn't want to face that. And then what ended up happening was I was in Michigan, and another friend was telling me about that very same experience that she had. She had to go and visit a brother-in-law. Her husband almost didn't go, but he did. And he was so happy that he went, because in that moment was held with so much meaning and purpose and love. And in the grief work that I've done, it's really important to know that one of the things that really locks us in to grief for a long time is unresolved communication. So it's those moments when they feel really uncomfortable that we need to tap into that beautiful girl, beautiful guy, beautiful person. This is where love soars. This is where love meets life. We can do hard things. We can do them because they are a full expression of love. Because again, in these moments, our heart cracks open and we expand. Now, when we were having this discussion with Marilyn and the family, we were in mixed company, and I didn't have the opportunity to really say what I wanted to say to her. And that was, I just wanted to lean in and say, it's okay to be sad. Your friend is dying. Simple words, but they open the door to let love in and to let love soar. Grief, sadness, anger, despair, they're not meant to be pushed away. Buried feelings become seeds. And sometimes, when we tend to them, they can be great seeds of compassion. Now, I was going to speak about an injury that ended our vacation. However, I think Teresa might have that one covered. And I'm going to share that Marilyn, with the friend in hospice, planted in her grief, planted a seed in me. She took us to a mall, and she was buying little treasures because she had a new idea, and that was creating gifts from recycled things that had been, or from things that had been given away. She was recycling them with love. And so she took us to this mall where I met the magical little child who deemed me the sparkle queen, right? And her channeling of her grief into something beautiful really sat on my heart. And as life works, right, on Thursday this past week, we met a woman in a thrift store. She was grieving the loss of her husband for 46 years. Their anniversary is coming up on August 28th. I've marked my calendar, inspired by Marilyn. I'll be taking her a Soaring in Love gift. Because I want to say, I see you, I hear you, and I really care about you. Right? And again, in a world that turns us or tries to turn us away from each other, we must turn in to each other. In a world that tries to shame empathy, we must turn in to ourselves and to each other in this community. And in a world that is aching in loneliness, again, we must turn in. Separation breaks us. Connection heals us. Leaning in, holding space, letting love lead, that's how we grow, right? That's how we grow. So I leave you this morning with a very, very, very full heart. I'm so grateful for this community, for the gifts that you don't even know you've given to my husband and I. Since January, we've leaned into Cultural Coast, and this practice has truly given our life wings. Truly. And so right now in this moment, what I'm going to invite you to do is to, if you're comfortable, close your eyes for a moment. And I'm going to have you put one hand on your chest and one hand on your heart. And first of all, just feel the energy and breathe into that space. And also for anyone that's watching virtually, I invite you to do the same. Just fully being present and listening to these words. Let us honor the floor moments, the cracks where the light gets in, the tears that speak truth, the hands that hold space, and the hearts that choose to listen. And then you can open your eyes. And I'm going to ask you to turn to somebody close by you and look into their eyes, deeply into their eyes, and whisper, I see you. I hear you. I care. Thank you, CSL Cultural Coast. Thank you, Teresa, for the invitation. Thank you for being the wind beneath our wings. May we remember who we are. Who we are. Aho, amen, and namaste. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to start with a dad joke. My friend Shell told a bunch of them a couple of 3 weeks ago. So you've all heard of the heat index. You know, it's 85, it feels like 89 or 91 or whatever. Well, the fellow that invented that died, and he was 85. And somebody said, well, he looks so young, but he felt like 91. Anyway, up here to talk about the flow in your life, the movement, the love, and how it moves forward. And so we move it forward by sharing what we have. We share the energy, and money is just energy. Those pieces of paper we get, it's just a piece of paper. All sorts of things go into it, but it's still just a piece of paper. What it represents, though, is our energy of giving, our energy of flow, our energy of movement. So I ask you to take your gift, your tithe, your offering, or if you do it electronically like I do, and just hold that in your energy circle right now, and just know that as we give it forth, we are creating dynamic, world-class, award-winning community that is growing and flowing and is dynamic and is each one of us and all those that we embrace. So with a grateful heart, we give forth with great gratitude, with great love, knowing we are creating that powerful community. We bless the giver and the gift, and so it is. And I think we have a guest singer this morning.
Receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
What a wonderful surprise. Okay, so I have a few announcements. First of all, the musicians, fabulous, and Sandra, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you. What a great service today. Always, but really good. So any first-timers? First-timers, did you get your free gift? Okay, we have a little, gift to give you and everything. Sign up for the newsletter. We only give you one per week. Gives you all the information, everything like that. Come and talk to us afterwards and everything. Speak. You can either see Reverend Diana right there at the door and everything. So please know that you're welcome. Okay. So anybody with parking issues, talk to myself or Hector. We will continue with this situation through October. Practitioner of the day is Reverend Diana back there. Meet her over there at the screen. She will help you affirm wonderful things, do a spiritual mind treatment, whatever is needed at the time. So just come and share. Wednesday night, we have some ongoing things. Every Wednesday night, we have the Spiritual Living Circle. And it's either with Nicole Leeds or Jim Grove. It's via Zoom. So people all over, you go over an article in Science of Mind magazine. So come and join us for there. Every Friday night, Reverend Diana has the Heart, Mind, Spirit Recovery Night meeting and everything. So please come and join her. You can talk to her more about that. I just want to let you know that this September 1st, we will not be having Metaphysics and Other Neat Stuff video night, movie night, because it's Labor Day, so we're just going to move it to, we'll meet together again on October 6th. Let's see, everything over at the tables has lots of information. Sign up for things, see what's available and everything like that. Stay with us afterwards and have refreshments and enjoy getting to know each other and everything. And of course, we have Bobby and Teresa here, so it's a nice added little special surprise. And thanks so much and enjoy.